In section 1.1, we're looking at this case study, and the thing I want to point out here is just the relationship to what I've already mentioned in the introduction to the course. Well, introduction to the course and really somewhat starting this chapter. So if you look at this on page 2, you have that they have these two groups, treatment and control. Now, so as you talk about the variable, the variable is now, I kind of wish they didn't use the word treatment here, because I would like to use the word treatment as the variable, but they use the word treatment as the variable. And so since this is this thing about stents, and when you read it, they opened up some patients, did not put a stent in, and then others they put the stent in, I believe is what it says. So here I'm going to go with procedure type. That's my variable, and that variable is categorical. It has two levels. They either did the treatment, the stent treatment, or they didn't. That was the control. And then here I'm going to have my 30-day result. That's the other variable, and it has two levels. Is there was a stroke or no stroke or no event, they say. And so then they fill in those data, and they had 33 there, 13 there, 191 there, and 214 there. And the question is, do we think we see some sort of difference between the columns or the rows? And well, yes, I think I do. Now, the reason I feel I see a difference is, notice in this first column, the top row is the bigger number, and it's quite a bit bigger. It's like 2.5 times bigger than the bottom number. And so here, here's the bigger number there. But when I look at the second column, the bigger number is in the second row. So if I knew I was in column 1 here, the stroke event, I would predict that actually they had the treatment. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. And then on the other hand, if you told me nothing had happened to them, I would probably predict they were in the control group. Now, this, of course, these two look much more 50-50, but since it was a little bit higher, I would probably predict control group. So there does seem to be a dependency. Now, at this point, I'm going to say seems to be a dependency because we don't really have the machinery yet to know for sure. But it looks like there might be. So this is worth me taking this statistics course and learning a technique to come up with a better understanding of whether I really think there is a dependency here or not. But so in section 1.1, they're just showing us these categorical data. We did our counts. This 2x2 table we usually call something like this, whether it's 2x2 or bigger, we call it a contingency table. Okay, this is a contingency table. And from this table, there is enough information here, I think, to warrant doing some statistics on it to decide, do we really think there is a dependency here, and if so, what might we think is going on, and all that. But so that's section 1.1 is just kind of, again, introducing what the heck it is we're doing, but it's just showing us with count data, and this is the type of thing we're looking for, is when I take that data, I have a question about the 30 days, is there likely to be a stroke in the next 30 days or something like that, given each of these procedures. And it looks like if we do the treatment, you're much more likely to have a stroke in the 30 days than if we didn't do the treatment, if we just did the control. But I don't know for sure. Again, the numbers just say that, but we're gonna see definitely in chapter 2 for sure, that because we're sampling from a bigger population, things can be random or even biased, which would be worse. And in that randomness or biasness, then we may, our data may not really reflect what's going on in the population on the whole. But again, that's where the statistics come in, is we're going to learn techniques to try to determine, do we really know whether or not there's a dependency in these two variables, our stroke events, do we have one or not? In our procedure types, do we do the treatment or not? Does it matter? Should we do the treatment? Shouldn't we do the treatment? Does it matter? And that's what we're trying to figure out with this sort of data in question. And it appears it does matter, but we don't know for sure. We would have to, we'll have to learn some things from chapter 3 we kind of do it from chapter 2, but really mostly chapter 3 to go about it in the easiest fashion. Okay, so that's 1.1.